We hoped that the 4-month tournament break would allow for injuries to heal, and in the cases of 2 ex-Ozeki, Tochinoshin and Takayasu, that appeared to be so. But for several others, the road to recovery is long and winding, and in some cases, possibly blocked ahead. Yokozuna Kakuryu seemingly put in a decent shift in the practice area pre-tournament, but in his first bout saw his hips completely give way against Endo. The non-technique was given as koshikudake, crumbling hips. Kakuryu, the first grand champion to lose in that manner since it was first recognized in 1955. "I ended up fighting myself up there," the Mongolian said, evoking images of the priest wrestling invisible gods at a shrine ceremony, before pulling out the following morning, citing an elbow injury. His coach, Michinoku, claimed that this injury flared up in training 6 days before the start and was made worse by his fall against Endo. He fears taking impact on it and wants it to heal completely before fighting again, Michinoku said. It was Kakuryu's 16th withdrawal overall, his 12th in the last 21 tournaments, but as he prepares to turn 35 next week, he still harbors hopes of making it through to the Olympics next year, if they take place. He also seems to be treating stablemate Kiribayama as his new pet project, hopefully with great results. Takakeisho, who turned 24 yesterday, also continues to struggle and is in danger of becoming the forgotten Yokozuna challenger. The effects of last year's knee injury were all too apparent, especially against Aoiyama when the NHK team described his foot movement as shocking. Senior judge Fujishima also expressed concerns earlier on in the tournament, claiming, "He's just not attacking, or should I say, moving." The Ozeki made it to the 8 wins needed to keep his rank, but in obvious pain, and withdrew the moment he got there, citing collateral ligament damage in the left knee. Although it only showed on his face after the Aoiyama bout, his coach Chigano Ura believed the problem had been around since mid-July and was aggravated over the tournament's middle weekend. Certainly his left leg just collapsed going backwards against Okinomi on day 3, and again going forwards against Hokuto Fuji on day 8. He largely avoided the media, as you'd well expect since his stable boarded over all its doors, but once the job was done and the pressure off, Takakeisho opened up about keeping rank, saying, "I didn't overthink things this time. If I get a losing score, it means I'm weak, that's all. The cancelled May tournament meant I had the threat of demotion hanging over me a long time, but I fed off that pressure to motivate myself. The early losses couldn't be helped. Rather than drown in everyone's advice, I just thought about doing what I could on that dohyo. The presence of fans was worth about 20% extra power to me and helped erase my doubts. Last year was 100 times tougher than this one. I don't know if last year's injury experience counted for anything today in terms of mental toughness, but as for my leg, no problem." And then he withdrew. 5 Sadogatake men were bunched in the lower reaches of Division 1 this time, but only 3 of them fought for all 15 days. On day 8, Kotonowaka, son of the stablemaster, absented himself for the first time since turning pro in 2015 due to a left knee injury, sustained, his father confirmed, when falling on it against Kaisei. "I told him if you're unable to even squat, withdraw," the stablemaster added. Like a typical disapproving parent, he said, "His Yokozuna grandfather said you recover from your injuries through training. This knock is proof that Kotonowaka's muscle strength is lacking. He knows what to do." With only 4 wins at the time of withdrawal, sheer panic over losing his hard-earned top division berth drove Kotonowaka to return for the final 2 days. Alas, his left knee failed to withstand Team Takadagawa, that's Kagayaki and Ryuden, meaning that barring incredible generosity from the rankings committee, he is down to Division 2, and Koto Shoho, 2 years younger, is ranked above him for the first time. Kotonowaka is joined at that level by stablemate Kotoyuki, who pulled out on day 14 with a right knee meniscus injury, his second withdrawal in 3 tournaments, he finished with only 6 wins. Yu Takayama, despite losing his first 8 bouts, we understand was not injured, merely a little out of his depth against top-quality opposition. On his NHK commentary debut, ex-stablemate and current coach Toyonoshima described Yu Takayama's problems as follows: "He likes to fight in a straight line and apply pressure from the front, but he can't dominate the top guys like that. His goal should be to get strong enough to do that by next year, or even by the year after next." Following his first win against Onosho on day 9, the man himself claimed he had driven himself into a corner in too many bouts, but that a battling display against Takanosho on the middle Sunday had boosted his morale. He finished the tournament with his 4th successive masterclass in dealing with Enho, finishing with 5 wins from his final 7 bouts. Onosho was up against the same caliber of opposition and found wanting, but 13 straight defeats from day 1 did raise questions about his old right knee injury sustained in 2018. Only on the final 2 days did he shine, picking up his first win with a blast out of fellow long-term injury struggler Ikioi. "In these tough times, you still can't give in," Onosho said. "I got up there with the intent to carry out my mission and persevered until I did." In recent years, only Daido, July 2013, and Homasho, May 2009, have gone the first 14 days without a win. And the last top division man to lose all 15 bouts was hyper-controversial Itai in July 1991.